Then Carol started to laugh. She sat on the sofa with Mom and together they laughed all the harder. Soon, the infectious nature of laughter swept up Marge and Barbara. I stood in the middle of the room with all of these women laughing at my plight. I wanted to cry. I picked up my bra and put it on. I struggled, but I managed to fasten it behind me. This made them laugh all the harder. Then I raised up my slips and put the straps over my shoulders. I put my blouse on and managed to get about half of the buttons fastened. They all continued to laugh at me as I struggled to get dressed. I tucked the blouse into my skirt and went into the kitchen to sit at the table. After a while, my mother came into the kitchen and hugged me. She said, "Your friends have left. They said that they would see you at the theater next week. On Tuesday morning they'll call the company that made your breasts and find out why the solvent didn't work. We all decided that it would be best that, up until then, you pretend to be Crystal Ramsey, Carrie's twin sister that lives with her father in Dayton. We'll tell people that Carrie is visiting with his father." She stood behind me as she talked and finished buttoning my blouse. Carol came in and said, "Stand up, Crystal." When I did, she used the tape to take my measurements. She said, 36-23-36, 64 inches in height, I'd say size 7 to a 9. Perfect. Perfect for what? I said. We're almost the same size. I'm a 7. You can share my clothes until next week, when you get your mastectomy. Of course they'll be a little tight. I don't have your obvious charms yet. I'm not going to wear your clothes. From now on, I'm only going to wear my own clothes. Mom said, "Crystal, I'm not going to spend a lot of money buying you new clothes for only several days of wear. You will have to share your sister's things, unless you intend to spend the money that you've been saving for that new bike. I'm just going to wear my regular clothes until Tuesday." Mom said, "That's not possible. You can't go out looking like a half man and a half woman. Since you can't be all man, then you will have to be all woman. Now, it's time to start dinner. Carol, you're in charge. Show your sister what she can do to help you make dinner. I have a few things to take care of." Mom got up and left the kitchen. Carol had me stand up so that she could put an apron on me. Then she had me make a salad while she cooked pasta and heated some of Mom's homemade spaghetti sauce. Dinner preparation took less than a half hour. While I set the table, Carol left to call Mom. I finished putting the food on the table just as they came in, and we sat down to eat the meal. I was starving since I hadn't eaten since breakfast. I took my usual amount of pasta, but after eating only about 25%, I was full. Mom said, "I thought that you were overdoing it, but I figured that you had to learn on your own. I guess that I'm not as hungry as I thought. It's the corset. It doesn't let your stomach expand to hold more food. Get used to it. You have to wear it until Tuesday so that your waist stays at 23 inches, or you won't be able to fit into your dresses, dear." "Oh Mom, can't I just wear jeans?" "No, Crystal. We'll be having lunch tomorrow in a restaurant where they don't allow jeans. It's skirts or dresses only, young lady." After dinner, Mom said, "Crystal, since your sister cooked, then it's your job to clean up. Put everything away and clean the table. Rinse the dishes and check for any stuck on food before loading them in the dishwasher. Then wipe down the counters and sweep the floor. It should only take you about 15 minutes at most. I can do it in 5 if I really hustle, but I realize that you haven't had much practice up until now. Carol said, I'm going to like having a kid sister for the next few days. It'll be nice to have some help with the housework. Mom said, Carol, I want you to help me upstairs. Crystal, when you're done in here, vacuum the carpet in the living room. We have company coming tomorrow. Company? Who? Your Aunt Jessica is coming to stay with us for her vacation. Oh. Aunt Jess isn't company, she's family. Nevertheless, the house must be cleaned. After you vacuum, dust the tables and bric-a-brac as well. You'll find cloths and dust spray under the sink. Carol, come with me, we have a lot to do. Mom, I said. Can you take my shoes off? I can't reach my feet with this corset on. You have to get used to wearing high heels, Crystal. I notice that you're a little wobbly. I think it best that you continue to wear them until it's time for bed. You'll be steadier on your feet tomorrow. Okay, children, let's get started on our chores. Mom and Carol left the room. I put on the apron that I had worn earlier. I put the leftovers in plastic containers and then stored them in the refrigerator. I carried the dishes to the sink and cleaned the table. Then I removed my ring and bracelets and rolled up the sleeves of my blouse. I rinsed off all of the dishes, silverware, and cooking utensils, and after checking for food, loaded everything in the dishwasher. We only turned on the machine when it was full, so I just closed the door. I washed down the counters and swept the floor. I had a lot of difficulty trying to pick up the small pile of dust and debris after I had swept. The corset prevented me from bending very much, and the long fingernails made picking things up very difficult. I finally figured out how to squat in a way that allowed me to use the dustpan and brush. I rolled my sleeves back down and put on the ring and bracelets, then went into the living room. I retrieved the vacuum from the hall closet and spent the next half hour vacuuming and dusting the living room. After I was done, I walked around to make sure that I hadn't missed anything, and then returned the vacuum and cleaning supplies to where they belonged. Mom and Carol had come back downstairs as I finished. Mom said, Crystal, the living room and kitchen look wonderful. You and Carol have both worked very hard. As a reward, I'm going to take you both out for ice cream. Carol hurried upstairs to get ready and to get her purse. I said, Mom, I'd rather not. You and Carol go. I'll just stay here and watch TV. Crystal, I won't hear of it. You're only going to be visiting for a few days. People would talk if you didn't go out and see the town a little. Now get your purse and touch up your face. I went to the downstairs powder room with my purse. I decided to use the toilet before we left. It took 10 minutes just to undress enough to do my business. I had to remove the skirt because it was too tight to get over my hips with the padded girdle in place. Then I had to detach the stockings from the corset. Finally, I had to pull down the panty girdle and my panties. Again, the tight corset and long fingernails restricted my dexterity. When I was finished, it took 15 more minutes to redress and straighten everything. After washing my hands, I applied fresh lipstick, blotted the excess, and went to the living room. Mom said, "It's about time, young lady. We were about to go see if you were all right." Sorry, Mom. I'm not used to these clothes or long fingernails. That's all right, dear. I see that you freshened your lipstick, but your face needs a little more work. Opening her purse, she took out several items and worked on my face. After several minutes, she finished up. Before backing away to examine her handiwork, she did a careful examination of my wig. That wig is amazing. Marge used some kind of adhesive to anchor it down and cover the edges, so it doesn't look like a normal wig that a woman would wear. It looks just like real hair until you examine it. If you want, we can remove it later and style your own hair. Since you wear it for so long, you don't really need a wig. And it would be a lot cooler for July.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. I think that would be better. Wait. On second thought, maybe people would be able to identify me if they saw my real hair. I don't want anybody to know it's me. That's no problem. We'll alter the color slightly. With that, and the different hairstyle, no one will ever recognize you, Crystal. Okay, it's getting late. Let's get going. We left the house and drove to a local ice cream parlor. I was scared to death of being recognized and was slowly getting out of the car. Mom said, "Come on, Crystal. You look fine. Just keep smiling and you won't have any problem." I got out of the car and put a demure smile on my face. I followed Mom and Carol into the ice cream parlor and to a table. I smoothed my skirt as I sat down and crossed my legs. Remembering the lesson from dinner, I only ordered a small portion of ice cream. While we were waiting, several of Carol's friends came out from a rear booth to leave. They all knew Carrie, but none of them recognized me. Carol identified me as her sister Crystal from Ohio. She told them that in our parents' divorce, her father was appointed as Crystal's guardian, while she and Carrie stayed with our mother. Her friends welcomed me to town and invited Carol and I to a party tomorrow night. The girl who was hosting the party, Robin Weber, said that there should be a lot of nice guys there for me to meet. I said, "Thank you, but we have plans for tomorrow." Mom spoke up and said, "Oh, that's all right, Crystal. We'll be back in plenty of time for you and Carol to go to the party. Maybe you'll meet someone special while you're here. Girls, they'd love to come. I'll drop them off myself." The girls all said that they would see us tomorrow, and left. "Mom, why did you do that? I can't go to a party like this." "Now, Crystal, your life can't stop just because of a little accident. You'll have fun, and you'll also get a chance to see what it's like from the other side of the gender gap." Here's our order. Carol and Mom talked while I sullenly sat and ate my ice cream. We left after about an hour, after being greeted by a half-dozen family friends and acquaintances. A couple of my mother's friends commented on my close family resemblance, but no one made the connection to Carrie. Arriving home, I went to my room to change and I found a sleepwear set on my bed, but I went to my dresser to get my PJs instead. Upon opening the drawer where they were usually stored, I discovered that they were missing. In fact, my top two dresser drawers, where I kept my underwear and socks, were also empty, except for several pairs of panties, stockings, and slips. I went to my closet and saw that most of my shirts and pants were missing. In their place were an assortment of dresses, skirts and blouses. A half-dozen pairs of high heels replaced my usual sneakers, loafers, and sandals. I went to my bedroom door and opened it. I was about to yell for my mom when she and Carol stepped in front of me. "Mom, what did you do with my stuff?" "Why nothing, Crystal. I put some of Carrie's things away until he returns so that you'll have some room to store the things that Carol is lending you for your stay." Mom, why do I have to wear Carol's clothes when I'm in the house? Can't I just wear my regular clothes if I agree to wear Carol's clothes outside of the house? Crystal, until the theater people resolve your problem, you will live as one gender. I will not have you switching back and forth. If any of Carol's friends come over, I don't want them to see you wearing Carrie's clothes. You are a young lady, and you will wear only feminine clothes. And you will share the household duties that Carrie is usually excused from. Understand? Yes, Mom. But I'm not happy about it. Mom? Yes, dear. Can you help me get undressed? Your sister will help you. You girls should spend more time together. Carol came into my room while Mom returned to her bedroom. Carol said, "Oh, Crystal, don't look so sad. We'll have fun over the next few days. I've often wished that I had a sister." Carol, this wasn't my idea. But I guess that I'm responsible because I allowed them to do it to me. You don't wear a corset, so you have no idea how uncomfortable it is. My usual waist size is 27 inches. With the corset on, my waist is 23 inches and I can't sit down comfortably. Crystal, you look wonderful. I would love to have breasts like yours. You're about a C cup, aren't you? Yes. Barbara said that I'm a 36C. As we were talking, Carol was helping me to undress. After we had removed my blouse, skirt, and slip, I saw that Carol was staring at my breasts. She said, "Crystal, they look so real. Not at all like what I'd expect. You could wear a low cut that showed your cleavage and nobody would ever guess. Can I touch them?" "Sure, Carol. Let me take my bra off." After I had removed the bra, she cupped the breasts and felt the texture and the weight. They're wonderful. I wonder how they look compared to mine. She immediately took off her top and bra. I was astounded. She seemed to have forgotten that I was a male under the plastic and silicone. She pulled me over to the mirror so that we could look at our reflections. She said, "I'm so jealous. Your breasts are bigger and better. And I'm 1.5 years older than you. I'd love to trade with you. If they were smaller, I could wear an elastic bandage and hide them." I unclipped my nylons and asked Carol to help me to remove the corset. "Are you sure that you want to do that?" "Of course. I can't wait to be out of it." "Do you think that I'd want to stay in it?" "I only meant that if you take it completely off, then you'll have to get used to it all over again tomorrow. If we just loosen it a little, then it won't be so bad tomorrow." "I don't know, Carol. You're probably right. I just don't know." "Okay, just loosen it a little so I can breathe easier and get some sleep tonight." Carol opened it up about 1 inch and retied the laces. I breathed a lot easier. It wasn't so bad now. She helped me to remove the stockings and shoes. It felt like heaven when she massaged my feet. When she left to put on her nightie, I put on the set that Mom had put out for me. After putting on the top, I removed the panty girdle and panties. It felt so wonderful to release my genitals from their prison between my legs. As my extreme discomfort lessened, I became more aware of, and more aroused by, the fabric of the sleep set. I realized that the distress of my situation, and the aches resulting from the corset and the heels had shielded my senses from the sensuous nature of the clothes that I had been wearing. I pulled on the bottom part of the satin sleep set and enjoyed the cool sensation as it traveled up my legs. In response to a knock at my door, I said, "Come in." Mom opened the door and said, "Oh, good. You're changed. Crystal, come on down to the kitchen and we'll remove your makeup and that wig. Also, we'll see what we can do with your hair. Bring your purse." Marge said that she put some things in there that we'll need. I picked up my purse and followed Mom to the kitchen, after putting on the fluffy pink slippers that she had left for me. She had me sit down and we discussed makeup and removal. She was surprised by how much I already knew. I explained that Marge had been teaching me about stage makeup. After my face was clear of makeup, Mom began to work on the wig using the removal solution that Marge had left in my purse. In 15 minutes, she had the wig off of me. One more source of discomfort gone. It wasn't that the wig hurt, but rather that it was so darn hot. Carol came in as Mom led me to the sink. She had me bend over the sink and she shampooed my hair. Then she lightened my normally golden blonde hair color to an almost platinum blonde color. When she was done, she patted my hair with a towel to remove excess moisture. Then placing a dry towel around my shoulders, she trimmed my hair to remove any split ends and to style it for a more feminine look. I had worn it for years. In fact, it was almost as long as Carol's, so Mom styled it like hers. When she was done cutting, she put it up in large curlers. She said that they would give it a soft curl. She put a hair net over the whole thing, and sat down to relax. We discussed the plans for tomorrow. Aunt Jess would be coming early. She lived about 3 hours away and should be there by 11 o'clock. Then we'd go into town for lunch. After that we'd spend the day at the fairgrounds until after the fireworks were over. At 9:30 Mom would drop Carol and myself off at the party that her friend was hosting. "Mom, I don't feel comfortable going to that party." "Do I have to?" "Crystal, it will do you good to socialize a little with Carol's friends while you are here." The answer is yes. "I want you to go." "Okay, Mom," I said reluctantly. We talked for a little while longer, then went upstairs. Mom showed me how to wash my stockings and underwear so that they would be clean and fresh tomorrow. We hung them over the bathtub to dry. I was used to seeing Carol's things there, but this was the first time that I had ever hung anything. I went to bed as soon as she had left. I was exhausted and was asleep within minutes of lying down. Please subscribe for the next part, and visit my Patreon page for early access. Patreon.com/Eden07. Link in the comment, thanks.